Folks, today we're going to be talking about and changing out a Chevrolet Trailblazer camshaft position sensor. You'll find these on the Trailblazer models from 2002 through 2006. Of course, you'll also find these on the GMC Envoy that uses the 4.2 liter straight 6 engine. Now what this part does, it controls timing as part of the variable valve timing system. The solenoid uses oil pressure to move a cam phaser. Now sometimes this actuator will refuse to advance the timing properly. We can get a lack of power at higher RPMs. In addition, these vehicles also exhibit a rough idle. Now sometimes it's a good idea just to pull these out and look at them if you're not even getting any coats, because these holes can get plugged up with sludge and cause all kind of issues. And of course, when you start to have problems, you'll get a check engine light with a code of P1345 and also other codes, which I'll go ahead and put a list right here at the end of this video clip. So you definitely want to pull these out and check them if you're having idle problems, surging problems, because sometimes these things can go bad and not throw a check engine light. For me, my problem is just a little unique. When I have the air conditioner on, it's in drive and it's warmed up operating temperature. When I turn the steering wheel, I can hear the valves chattering a little bit, and sometimes from a dead stop I can hear them chattering just a little bit also. So either two things have happened. This cam phase sensor here has gone bad, or also I have a knock sensor that has gone back. Although, like I said, I have no check engine lights on. This was pretty easy to take off, and you can see there is the hole that it comes out of, but in order to get this out, you actually have to take the power steering unit off. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm actually going to take another one off my Trailblazer, the second Trailblazer that I have, that basically I think I'm going to use for parts. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it, but it does run pretty good. We're going to swap this over and see if this takes care of my issue. Now here's the other Trailblazer I have. It is a 2002, also basically identical. In order to get the cam phaser variable timing sensor out, it is actually right here, and you can see all that oil covering this one up. In order to get that out, we do have to remove part of the power steering, but we don't have to disconnect any hoses. We have to go ahead and take out this air cleaner, and once we get this off, there is a belt that we have to slip off here, the serpentine belt. Then we can go ahead and pull this out. So I thought this would be a great opportunity for me to go ahead and make a video and show you guys how I do it. First thing we got to do is go ahead and pull this cover off here. This houses the air cleaner, and these screws, they really like to rust, so sometimes you got to really fiddle around with them to get them off. We'll get this off, put this off to the side, and here is the air cleaner. We have to take all this stuff off here. Pretty easy to do. And then we got to unhook this sensor, get this out of the way, and pull this thing off. And the next thing you really need to do, this is very helpful, is go ahead and get these two nuts off. These are 13 millimeter. This holds this thing here on. Alright, so get this out of the way. And we got one more bolt on the bottom, but most of the time, those bolts are gone because someone's already worked on it. So we'll get this off here. Alright, then we got to go ahead and take the wires off of our windshield washer fluid here for the rear and front. We got to get this out of the way, then this should come off. Now when you pull this up, you will have two more little hoses right here. We'll have to take those off. But if you're lucky like me, well, your hoses are probably long enough and this thing will just sit up on the engine just fine. And now this will give us access into the power steering pump and our serpentine belt. Now what we got to do is go ahead and take the serpentine belt off. There's a place on this serpentine belt tensioner right here that we can put a regular ratchet in and just sort of twist this and slide this belt off. Now of course I'll probably have to set the camera down because I only got one hand here to do this. Okay, and I think you can kind of see there's the whole idea. Just pull up on it like this and it moves that tensioner, and you can see the belt is now off. I'm just kind of laying on there on the side right now. Getting this off, just basically pull up on a little bit, take your other hand and kind of hold that pulley a little bit, and this will eventually slide right off because these can get into a slight bind. Now really all we have to do at this point is go ahead and take out 3 bolts that are right here that we'll have to get in right here. There's holes in this pulley that we can get into. We're going to take all 3 of those out. You see I got the ratchet in the hole, and this is a 13 millimeter. Now we'll go ahead and break this loose a little bit, see if we can get it. Alright, now we got that one loose. Now, as you can see there, this bolt is out as far as it's going to come out, but you see, you really can't get your fingers on it. So do yourself a favor, get you a magnet, invest in one of these things. These are a lifesaver. Go ahead and pull this out like that, and do all 3 of them like that, and you're going to be a happy man. And as you can see right there, there's the top one, and you can see it's out as far as it's going to come, and there's no way to get my finger in there, so simply just get that magnet and pull it out like that. That way you won't risk dropping it. Now, as you can see here, this bolt is just about all the way out, and there it is. They couldn't have made it where this had a groove in the side of the power steering reservoir here where you could just pull this straight out. No, they just had to make it nice and square, so you had to pull the power steering off in order to get this cam phaser off. So we got this bolt out. Let me see it. Nope, I'm going to have to use my magnet. All right, so go ahead and get that bolt out there. All right, so there that is. Make sure you don't lose that. That's a 10mm bolt. And now all we have to do is grab this and start turning it first. Just don't go yanking on it. Rock it back and forth a bunch of times. And as you do that, just kind of pull out on it. And you can see it slowly coming out. Takes a little patience. I may have to use both hands here to get it out. Alright, just keep wiggling it. Maybe I can get it with one hand. Oh, there we go. Alright, we got it. I will slowly pull it out. And I'm anxious to see just how clean this one is compared to my other one. And this thing's pretty long. You can see this is why they you pretty much have to pull the power steering unit off. And there it is. And this one doesn't look too bad. Looks like it's pretty clean. So it's kind of nice to experiment if you got the extra parts. So we're going to swap these around, and I'm going to see if this takes away my valve chatter a little bit. If not, then I may have to go ahead and change out the NOx sensors. I don't have a code for the NOx sensors, but the NOx sensors on these engines are way in the bottom. So this was, for me, the easiest thing to do, and it makes for a nice little experiment. There's the one we're going to put on this vehicle, and I'm going to take this one over here on this one. And if this one here starts chattering, then I know this is bad. So I'm not going to worry too much right now for that. So hopefully that'll help you guys out. And changing then all you have to do is reverse the process, and you're pretty much good to go. And I'm not going to show you that. Since you're pretty smart, you know how to do it. Okay, and as you can see here, we got it nice and clean. I used some nice cleaner on it, and it's in pretty good condition here. So we'll go ahead and put this back in like this. And you can see as you start this how long this thing sticks out. It is a problem for the power steering unit. So we'll gently slide this in like that. And we're all the way in. And all we have to do is go ahead and put our 10mm bolt in, and we're done. There's a lot of these Trailblazers, these Envoys on the road. So hopefully this little tip will help you out. And if you do get a code that actually says this is bad, then you'll know how to change it fairly easy. So I'll go ahead and put all this back together here, and we'll come back here and start this up and see if it took care of the valve chatter at low RPM anyway on a from a dead stop. It's not that noticeable on the open highway. Better than that, the vehicle's got plenty of power, runs great. Some people told me to run 93 octane in it, but I've never really had any problems with the other Trailblazers running 87 octane in. So this is just something I wanted to try and see if it worked, and it was free. It didn't cost me anything to do. All right, everyone, so we got it all back together, and you can hear it here. Sounds pretty good. It even idles a little bit better now since I cleaned that out a little bit. And you can see just how smooth this engine is running. And I really don't have much valve chatter now. It's pretty much all gone. So I think the other sensor that I had in here was probably had gone bad. But it seems like it has made a difference. So the main purpose of this video was to show you how to change this variable valve timing system sensor out if you have to do that on a Trailblazer or an Envoy. So guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know where you're watching from. And until my next video, I will see you guys later.